Hi there you wonderful people, welcome back to the channel. In this one we are looking at Nokia today because Nokia honestly has been pretty flat, quite a good indication hopefully of things to come. And if we can have a quick look from this low point here of about $4.10 up until now, we are kind of on the increase by only 0.73%, but it could be an indication of things hopefully picking themselves back up into the next week. Well, obviously I am not a financial advisor, you already know that, but if you will enjoy this episode, as I personally do believe you will, make sure to subscribe because we cover Nokia pretty much every single day, or at least every single week, and each subscriber does help the channel out massively, so it would be appreciated if we could keep the subscribers coming in. On top of that, if you do want to support the channel, you can do that by pressing the join button that is located next to the subscribe button, and with all that information being shared, we're not going to waste a second more, we're going to jump straight in and have a look at Nokia today. So over the past 5 days, we've still seen a bit of sell-off action as a lot of hype is still getting out of this stock, and of course a lot of people are cutting their losses with this stock. I think that is understandable, to be honest, because I've been seeing in the comment section a lot of people talking about how they bought in back here at about $6-7. I think that point was definitely well overinflated, and it definitely did come down just as fast as it went up, and I know that that got a lot of people, out because they were basically expecting this to be the next GME or the next AMC and see at least 2 days of pops, and people were anticipating selling their profits off. I think that is to be expected, as people obviously want the best money that they can get, but I think that price was well inflated. I think it was a bit too much, and now we are seeing with GME, we're seeing it with AMC, these stocks are even still selling off to this day. Nokia is not in the same type of stock as them, in my opinion. I think Nokia has the fundamentals which arguably these other companies do not. Nokia is definitely more of a long-term stock. I think Nokia right now is a bit undervalued. I think it is going to rocket up in the next 2 to 3 years. So if you are invested in Nokia, it is more of a long-term hold. I say this every episode because I do need to reiterate it, because people do still comment saying that they think that this is a short-term hold. I think it does still have that potential to see a bit of a pop short-term, but I don't think it is enough to justify this one being a short-term play. It could explode in the short-term, don't get me wrong, but I think this one is going to be a stock which you should buy with the mentality of holding for a few years. Nokia is a very big company, it is a 5G giant, and it will be even more of a 5G giant as their coverage does expand into the future. We've covered this in previous episodes as well, but I just believe Nokia where it is right now is extremely undervalued and definitely could hit about $8 in the future. So if you had a bought in at this point of about $6.55, I think that is quite unfortunate, and you'd be losing about $2 per share as of current, which is actually quite a significant loss because a lot of people put a fortune on Nokia and other stocks and unfortunately got burnt when it did come back down. So I think if you are confident enough with Nokia for the long term, you could see this one double in price from where it is right now in the next 2 to 3 years. I definitely do believe that potential is there. The 5G for Nokia is expanding rapidly. They intend to have about 20% of 5G coverage for all 5G networks, which is quite interesting, because if Nokia is the third largest 5G provider in the next few years, it will obviously have quite a big increase in revenue. So Nokia in the telecommunications world is doing pretty well right now. I think going forwards it is going to continue to doing well, in my opinion. I think it definitely could be a fantastic buy right now, as long as you are 100% certain that you are getting into this one for a more long-term approach, as right now I think Nokia is going to be one of these stocks which people look back on in a few years and see as an opportunity which was relatively cheap. Are better opportunities out there on the market for profit or growth right now? Yes, I definitely believe there are some other stocks which could see short-term growth bigger than Nokia, but long-term it does have that potential to double. I think it is a solid company and we can rely on the fundamentals. So how many shares would I buy right now, and how long would I hold it for? Well, first things first, I would hold this one for the next 5 years at least, as I do believe it will take that long, or at least longer, for us to reap the full rewards of Nokia in its share price, as like I said, their 5G does expand further and further. And of course, talking about how many shares I would buy, I would not buy too many shares of this one. I would not make it a larger position in my portfolio as of now. I may definitely consider adding to this one slowly as time does go on, but right now I would only add a few shares, maybe $100 worth max, and of course then use that as only nothing more than a portfolio diversifier, as it does still have that room for growth in the future, but right now it's just a telecommunications company which from a stock point of view isn't grown by too much over the past month, but it is currently undervalued in my personal opinion at least. I think going forwards forwards, we are going to see Nokia expand. So it could be a great portfolio diversifier. I think at the current price it is relatively cheap. I think it will continue to rise in the future. I think next month will hopefully be positive for it now. We are coming to the end of that sell-off as things do appear to be, and I think that would be a fantastic position to be in. So right now, Nokia is definitely at one of the best buy points that it has been for some time, and it was the same only a few days ago at this very low point of about $4.09, but I think currently it's not very bad, and I think going forwards it could really pay itself off, but it is still more of a speculation as we aren't 100% sure if Nokia will meet its targets of those 5G coverage claims of about 20%, but of course it would be amazing if they did, and it would have a big impact on the price, but we just don't know yet. But I think it really could. Obviously it's been around for years and the potential really is there for Nokia stock, but I can't see it exploding in the next 2 to 3 weeks, which is not a bad thing if you are aware of what you are getting into. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this very quick video. If you did, make sure to leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye until then.